Hello everyone, and welcome to today's deck list. Today we are doing the Symphonics. This is a kinda old archetype that recently got support in Dimension Force, based around pendulum monsters and machine monsters that have a lot of very useless effects that you can activate multiple times to boost up their field spell. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, we play 3 copies of Symphonic Warrior Guitar. When it's normal summoned, you can target a Symphonic Warrior in your grave to special summon it. And once per turn, its pendulum effect is that you can discard a card to special a Symphonic Warrior from your deck. So honestly, he's a great play starter, continuer. He's really great at getting out your board. Plus, he puts Symp counters on your Symphonic field spell. Next, we have 3 copies of Guitars. This is the new tuner monster that the deck received. It's Pendulum Scale. You can target one Symphonic Warrior card you control and this card and return them both to the hand. His regular effect is that he can special summon himself if the field spell, Synth Amplifier, is in your field zone. And then if this card is normally special summoned, you can return one card from your Pendulum Zone back into your hand. So it's good if you've already used your guitar effect that you can add it to your hand and then get the extra normal summon for a special from Graves. Next, another new one from Defo, 3 copies of DJJ. When DJJ is normally special summoned, you can special a Symphonic Warrior from your deck in face down defense position. Usually you're going to aim for your Synthesis. And if Synth Amplifier is in your field zone, you can special summon it from your deck face up but negate its effects. And its pendulum ability is that once per turn during your main phase, flip one face down defense position monster you have to face up, once again allowing you to trigger the effect of your Synthesis. So another great support card for the deck. Next up, we play 3 copies of Symphonic Warrior Mix, or Mix. His pendulum effect is that unless you have a Symphonic in the other pendulum zone, this card becomes a scale 4. And once per turn during your end phase, target a banished Symphonic Warrior, add it to hand. And his regular effect is that you can special summon this card by removing 3 Symphonic counters from your field. And after this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can immediately normal summon again at some point in your turn. So once again, really great extender for the deck. The deck is full of extenders. But now we're getting some of the cards that have a lot of just do-nothing effects with the older ones, such as Synthesis. Its flip effect is that you can add a Symphonic Warrior from your deck to your hand, and its second effect changes the name of a Symphonic Warrior from the grave, so Synthesis becomes that Symphonic Warrior in grave, and you can banish this card from your grave to special summon another banished Symphonic Warrior. Next up, we have 3 copies of Piano. Once per turn, declare a monster type, select a Symphonic Warrior on the field. That monster becomes that monster type. Then you can banish this card from the grave to declare a monster type, and a Symphonic Warrior becomes that type. It's a level 3 turner, which is really great for the deck, but otherwise it's just another one of those do-nothing effects, and we'll get to why those are important later on. Next up, we play 3 copies of Symphonic Warrior Drums. Once per turn, you can declare one attribute, select face-up Symphonic Warrior, it becomes that attribute, and you can do the same thing from the graveyard. He's a level 2 turner, so you can use him in Mites for your level 7 synchros, but usually you're using him for a graveyard effect. Then for the last monster, we play 2 Barrier Statue, the Storm ones. You're playing all wind monsters, and you can pendulum summon him out pretty easily, so he's a great way to lock your opponent down. Now we get on to the bones of this deck, which are 3 copies of Synth Amplifier. So every time you activate a Symphonic Warrior card, place a counter on this. All Symphonic Warriors gain 100 attack for each Symphonic counter on this card. Then, you can remove 5 counters to inflict 300 points of damage to your opponent for each Symphonic Warrior card on the field, or you can remove 7 to banish cards your opponent controls and or in their grave up to the number of Symphonic Warriors on the field. great card. You can only use one of the 2 effects per turn, but still, you're going to be able to get high number attack and ridiculous banishing off of this one card. Then we play another new card, 3 copies of General Probe. Each time a Symphonic Warrior effect is activated, place a counter on this card. You can remove 3 counters to add a Symphonic Warrior from deck, and if you normal or special summon a Symphonic Warrior, you can add a Synth Amplifier from deck. So searches a field spell, searches a monster, and puts counters on the field for your field spell. Fantastic support card. Next up, to kind of cycle through some of the Symphonic Warriors, we play 3 copies of Transmodify, which practically levels up one of your monsters with the same type and attribute. So usually you'll use this to go from Guitar into a DJJ, so that you can continue your plays, but otherwise it's just a good extender for the deck. Then for consistency, we do play 2 Pot of Desires. You're playing 3 of everything. On the chance you do banish all 3 copies of the field spell, I recommend just quitting, because there is no chance you have after you lose the field spell. Otherwise, great card. Then for the 1-ups, we play 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Terraforming, 1 Upstart, and 1 Foolish Burial. All fairly simple cards. Great to be a little more consistent in the deck. Then, because I don't really play a lot of traps in the deck, Royal Decree, you can put any of your favorite floodgates in here, but I put Royal Decree to stop any problematic trap cards from ruining my beautiful pendulum summoning. And moving on to the extra deck, you can play any number of Synchro or Link monsters, but I'm playing mine as pure as it can be, so I just play 3 copies of Rocks. It's a level 7. If this card is in your monster zone, is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place it in your pendulum zone. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is special summon, add a face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. And if Synth Amplifier is in your field zone, destroy 1 card on the field. Its pendulum effect is during each standby phase, add a face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy both this and the opponent's monster. You rarely have it in your pendulum zone, but it's just a generically good synchro monster for the deck. Another great piece of support. All in all, it's a really fun deck, based around using useless effects that are not once per turns over and over again, so that your Synth Amplifier can really pop off and destroy a lot of your opponent's cards. But otherwise, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and let me know what deck to do next time. Until then, thanks for watching.